And today we're going to be making the Zoo Animal Cupcake Kit. So if the sticker on your box right here does not say Zoo Animal Cupcake Kit, no worries, you're probably looking for another video, so go ahead and head back to our YouTube channel and find the video that's titled the same as whatever sticker is right here on your My Make Studio box. But if it does say Zoo Animal Cupcake Kit, welcome! This one's super cute. I'm excited. There are a couple things we need to go over before we actually start decorating our cupcakes. And speaking of cupcakes, the first thing we need to do is make sure that they are baked and they are at least room temperature or slightly chilled before we start decorating them. If you're new to cupcake decorating, the colder your cupcakes are, the easier they're going to be for you to decorate. But room temperature should be just fine. We just don't want to decorate hot cupcakes because then our icing melts and all that jazz, and they won't look like zoo animals anymore. They'll look like really melted zoo animals, and I don't want to do that today. I want to have cute zoo animals. If you haven't baked your cupcakes yet though, there is cake mix inside your box, and on the back of this cake mix box, in your box, there are instructions on the back of it for how to bake them, so just follow them along and you should be just fine. And if you don't have a cupcake pan, don't worry, because inside your box there are some cupcake liners and a cupcake pan. So if you don't have your own cupcake pan, you can use this one. You'll probably need to fill it up twice. So just put the liners in, scoop out your cupcakes, bake them, and then repeat. But other than that, I always recommend that you have a handy dandy pair of scissors just to cut some things open and whatnot today. And then some kind of towel, like a kitchen towel or a hand towel or even a paper towel, just to wipe our fingers on and leave our open icing bags on to help keep our area a little bit more clean as we go. And then lastly, go ahead and wash your hands super duper good, and then once you've done that, we can start decorating. So I'm gonna unpack my box, grab my cupcakes, and then we're gonna get right to it. See you in a sec. All right, so there are a couple things I wanted to go over before we actually get started. I know, I just said that, we just went over things, but there's one more thing, there's just one more thing. So, there is enough stuff inside your My Make Studio box to make 2 of each cupcake design. So if you would like, you can do 2 at a time with me throughout the video, or you can just do 1 at a time, and then when the video is done, you can go back and do the other 6, or you can be creative with the other 6 if you like. They are your cupcakes. It's totally up to you, but if you would like to make 2 of each, there is enough stuff that you can make 2 of each. I will only be doing 1 of each cupcake just because I'm showing you how to do them today, but I wanted to let you know that if you want to do 2 at a time, you totally can. So we're going to go ahead and get to it, and we're going to make some monkeys. Like, of course, it's a zoo kit. We got to have monkeys. I was always very jealous as a child. I wanted to be in the monkey pits, like in their housing and habitats, because they always had like the cool swings and stuff, and I was like, I want to climb on that, so I want to start with a monkey. So pick out whatever cupcake or cupcakes feel like a monkey to you. I'm going to go with this one. And then we are going to take our brown icing. So we're going to take this little top off, and then this top is more than just a top today. You see this little white circle? Well, if you push it out, it now looks like a ring, and that's exactly what it is. It's the coupler ring. Like, it comes with the tube, but if you don't know what a coupler ring is, this is what we use to attach tips to our icing. So I think that is so awesome that it comes with it. But we're going to set this down for just a second and go ahead and remove the seal on our chocolate icing. And then we're going to come to our little bag of fun. And we're going to take out the package that has these funky plastic looking things in them. Well, the funky plastic looking things are icing tips. Now, if you would like, inside your booklet, there is a little page that shows what the names of the tips are and a little bit of their design, but I'm going to be going through them with you. We want to take out the open star tip, which is the one that is a circle with a bunch of spikes. So I'm just going to cut this open. I'm going to leave my other tips in the bag for now, just so I remember where they are. So this one. And then to put it on my chocolate, I'm going to set it on top, take that ring, and twist it on over it. Now, it doesn't need to be on there so tight that you can't take it off, but it needs to be on there tight enough that if you shake it around, it's not going anywhere. So mine was not on tight enough. Sometimes these tips like to play tag, and they're like, no, you can't catch me, no. So you might need to move them around a little bit and apply a little bit of pressure while you put this on, but it will go on there. Yeah. Alrighty. So with this tip, you've got two options for how to put some swirlies for your monkey. We're making monkey hair, but we're doing it a little bit differently than we're going to do like our lion's hair and stuff later, so they look different. So one of the ways you can do it is hold it a little above your cupcake and squeeze in the same spot. 1, 2, 3. Stop and lift up to get a little poof like that. Or another way that I think looks really cute is you can add a slight wrist twist. So when I say slight wrist twist, I mean like you've got a wand. It's a very whoop, whoop, versus a so hold it a little above, squeeze, keep squeezing, and twist a little just to get a different shape. So whichever one you like, go ahead and cover the whole top of your cupcake in that. I'm just going to do the poofs today. Ta-da! So now I'm going to go back to my bag of fun and I'm going to take out the mini vanilla wafers, which, oh, I love vanilla wafers. They're so good. And then I'm going to take out 3 of them. So I'm just going to cut this open. Take out the 3 that I want. Perfect. So it doesn't matter if you look at your vanilla wafers, there's one end that's more rounded than the other. Like one has a dome and one is flat. It doesn't matter which way you put them on there. It's whatever way you like best. Personally, I like the slight dome to be the part that I see, so that is the part that is not stuck into my icing. And then this one, it's got like a little piece missing, but that's perfect for my monkey ears. So I am going to stick them into the top like this. So here's the side view. And I'm going to take my other one and come a little bit towards the bottom of my cupcake and just put it right on top instead of the side. I'm actually going to move that just a little. Yeah. So it kind of looks like a teddy bear right now. Alrighty, and then we're going to go back to the bag of fun. And we're going to take out one of my favorite candies. These, I eat candy eyes all the time. I think they taste so good. If you've never had them before, they kind of taste like the sticks in Fun Dip sticks. I love them and they're awesome. So I'm going to try to remember not to eat all my eyes today, but I'm going to take out 2 for my monkey. And then it is up to you how you put them on the cupcake. So the closer you have them together, the more cartoon and silly your monkey will look. The more spaced out they are, the less cartoony your monkey will look. Oh, it makes me look creepy. But whichever way you like, you can hold them above your cupcake first and kind of move them around to see what you think looks cute. I personally like cartoony things, so I like mine pretty close together, but it is your cupcake. I want you to be happy with it. So go ahead and figure out the spacing of what you like before you just stick them right on there. Yes. Ta-da! And then you can either, actually, you know what? If you'd like, you could use some of your chocolate icing, but I'm going to use my black icing instead. So I'm going to open this up, and then the tip I'm going to put on here is the round one. It's just a circle. So it is the one that looks like this. I'm going to put that on my black icing, but you could put it on your brown icing instead if you would like. Yes. And then I'm just going to use that to draw 2 little polka dots for a nose and then some kind of smile. So when I draw my monkey smile, I personally do a smirk. Like, that's what I like, but you could do a big grin, or maybe your monkey is like, or your monkey is tired and like, whatever a smile or mouth feels right to you, go ahead and do that. But I am just going to draw some little circles because this tip is really good for making polka dots, drawing, and writing. So I just made 2 little dots, and then I'm just going to draw a smirk. Ta-da! He's so cute. And that's it, you guys. That is our first cupcake. We've got monkeys down. We're going to move on to pandas next. So pick out whatever cupcake or cupcakes feel like a panda to you. I'm going to do this one. I feel like this one. And then I'm going to take out my white icing, and then inside your kit box, there was also a spatula. So if you got green today, ding, green friends, we have a bunch of colors floating around. It's totally random which one you get. I'm excited I got green because green is personally my favorite. So yes, but they're all super cute. But I'm going to take this off and then remove the seal, and I'm not going to put a tip on here. Instead, you can either make some polka dots, some ziggy zaggies, some bloops, some blops, some swirly doos, whatever feels right to you. We just need to get some icing on this cupcake, and then we're gonna move it around. So I'm just gonna do a big swirly do in the center. Ta-da! And then I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to smooth this out. So when I smooth things out, I like to go side to side, but instead of it being like a windshield wiper blade, it's more like the beginning of a pirate ship ride. So I rock a little bit this way, and then rock a little bit this way, and back and forth, back and forth. It's like when it's still a swing before it's going like this. So I put it in the middle, and I just go back and forth like that. And then I can scrape this back onto my cupcake, and then go the other direction until I've completely covered it. Now, if that doesn't feel right for you, it is okay. Everybody's brains work differently. So another way that you can do it is you can put your spatula in the center and turn your cupcake around it. I call that the twirl. Or, if that doesn't feel good, treat your cupcake like it's a very nervous cat. Like you have been trying to get its attention all day. It's finally jumped in your lap. And you're just like, I have to pet this cat, but I don't want to freak it out. So very light amount of pressure. Pet your icing in the direction you want it to go until you've covered the top of your cupcake. This does not have to be, oh my gosh, the most pristine, smoothest cupcake in the world, because we're going to be adding a lot of we're going to be adding eyes and a nose and a mouth and ears. So there's going to be a lot of other pieces on this cupcake that are going to help bring it together. So this doesn't have to be 100% super duper smooth. But I'm going to finish smoothing this out, and then we'll go over the next part. Ta-da! And then I'm going to set this down. You can go ahead and wipe it off if you want, or if you're doing two at a time, go ahead and smooth out your other cupcake. I'm going to go ahead and wipe mine off because we will need it again for our next one, so that way it's ready to go for me. Just going to wipe it off. Yes. Alrighty. So now you have some chocolate wafers. And these are melty chocolates. But we're going to take two of these out for our panda ears. And just like with our vanilla wafers, it does not matter which side goes, faces up. It's whatever you think looks best. And I'm going to stick them in the same way I did my monkey ears. So instead of like this, I'm coming in the side. And then you can leave them brown if you'd like, but what I like to do is cover them with my black icing. So I have that round tip on there, and I'm also going to put little lines behind them connected to the cupcake. It's a little hard to see, but as extra support system for this. And then I usually put my finger, I'm not like pushing it up, but it's just kind of there to where it's touching the chocolate to help hold it in place. And then I'm going to just make a circle and fill in my circle. Yes. And then I do two black circles in the center. It's up to you how big you want them to be, but we are going to be putting those candy eyes on them, so I would keep that in mind. But I'm just going to go about like this, which if you like how this looks, you don't have to use the candy eyes if you don't want to. You can leave it just like this and it will be super cute. But now I'm going to make a nose, and for the nose, I usually do like a line and a smiley face under it. Let me show you what I mean by that. Take out my line, smiley face, and then fill it in. And then it's the same thing with the monkey. You can do whatever kind of smile you want. They can be like, I personally like my pandas to be like, so I'm just going to do a circle. Yes. So again, you can leave it like this, but I'm going to take 2 more candy eyes and I'm just going to place them into those black circles that I did. And then I press them kind of flat so the black circle I made goes around them. So I press them until I can feel I've hit the cupcake. And there you go, you guys. Cupcake number 2. We are going to go ahead and move on to cupcake number 3. So same as before, if you're doing 2 at a time, go ahead and finish it up. You can pause me, and I'll be here when you get back. But since we already have our white icing out and our black icing out, we're going to go ahead and make zebras. So the first part is the same. We're going to put white icing on that cupcake and then smooth it out. So after that, I'll show you the rest of how to make a zebra. Ta-da! So I'm actually going to take this off for just a little bit. And I'm going to put on that star tip, which is the one we used for our monkeys. And then you can either rinse it out all the way, or you can just put it onto your black icing and squeeze it for a couple of seconds, and it will push all the brown out. Either way is totally fine. Perfect. And then pick a side to be the top of your cupcake. So how we've had our ears sticking out of our cupcake this way instead of this way, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use icing this time. So I turn my cupcake this way, and I squeeze in the same spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop and lift up. And then I do another one over here. So they should look like Hershey Kisses. And then down here, I'm going to make a rainbow arc. And then come around. And then I'm going to fill that in. Yes. And then I'm going to take this off and put that round tip back on to make some zebra stripes. You can make whatever kind of zebra stripes you want. I'm just going to put some on the sides and maybe the top, but you can put them all over the face if you want instead. So I just like to make a couple on the side. And then every now and then I'll give them a little show you what I mean by that. Blue, blue. And then I'm going to put some up here because that's how I feel. Yes. And then I am going to take out 2 more candy eyes and place them in the center. So before this cupcake is done, you have some options. You can either rinse this tip out. The reason I say rinse this one out instead of squeezing it is because the hole is much smaller and it is covered in the black icing. So it's going to be a lot harder to get all of that old color out and for it to be white. So you could rinse it out and put it on your white icing and then make some little nostrils. Or you can take 2 candy eyes and turn them upside down and place them in your cupcake that way, which is what I'm going to do today. But again, I really like to eat the candy eyes. And there we go, you guys. I'm going to make his eyes a little bit more like this. Yes, yes. We have a zebra. All right, we are moving on. Dang, we're going so fast. Okay, I think we're going to do lions next. So go ahead and wipe off your spatula because we're going to be smoothing things out, but we're going to be smoothing out with a different color so this way we don't get white streaks in it. And we're going to make some lions. So for my lion, it's going to be like we've done our last 2 cupcakes where we're going to smooth out icing, but we're going to use yellow. So I'm going to put some yellow on here, smooth it out, and then we'll talk about our mane. Ta-da! So for our lion's mane, I like to use orange, and we are going to put on the grass tip. It's a tip we haven't used yet. So it is the one that looks like a thimble with all the little holes in it. This is my all-time absolute favorite tip. It's usually used for grass, but we're using it for our mane today. So I'm going to open up my orange, remove the seal, and then put this on there. Ta-da! So with this one, for some reason, people have the tendency to do this with the tip. So this is what not to do, okay? What not to do. So you want to hold it a little above and squeeze, but for some reason, a lot of people dip back down before they lift up. And when you do that, it just makes this blob. So you actually want to hold it a little above, squeeze in the same spot, stop squeezing, and lift straight up. That's how you'll get these cool little lines in there. But if you dip back down, it just makes it a blob. So think stop and straight up. So when you are putting your icing on, you can either hold it in the same spot, 1, 2, 3, stop and lift, or you can keep squeezing while you lift and it'll be more floppy. If you want it super floppy, you can go spaghetti style and just squeeze in a circle around your cupcake, whichever one feels right for you. I like to do a mix of the two floppy ones, and then I usually go at a little bit of an angle, so I like some on the side, but you can also do it straight up and down. It's whichever one you like better, but we're going to create a ring of poofs all the way around our cupcake. Yes! So, before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and add the black parts of this cupcake, since I already have this tip ready to go, because we will need to rinse it out here in a little bit. So it's a little bit less back and forth if we do this part now. So, I'm just going to make 2 circles for eyes, which again, it's up to you. You don't have to do circles. If you don't want to, you could do more of a cartoony eye if you'd like. I'm just going to do some circles, and I'm going not quite to the top of the mane, but not quite the center. I'm a little offset. And then I'm going to do that same nose shape I did for the panda, but smaller. And then I like to bring a little piece down. But I don't like to do the curvy cap part for this. I like to just do a line. Oh, it's so cute. You could leave it like this if you wanted. It's adorable. But now we're going to need our star tip and our round tip. So since they both have such dark colors in them, I do recommend that you stop for a second and go rinse these out in the sink all the way and then come back. So I'm going to go rinse mine out and I'll be right back with you. And we're back. So I'm going to put the star tip on my yellow, and that's how I'm going to make my ears. It's very similar to the zebra, but they're going to be inside my mane instead of on top of it. So instead, with the other cupcakes, we have gone like this for our ears. This time I'm actually going to go straight up and down. And I'm just going to do like a 1, 2. 1, 2. For some ears. And then I'm going to take the white, and I'm just going to make 2 little blobs next to that black line I made under the nose. And there we go. You have a lion. Roar! Alrighty, you guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next zoo animal, which is going to be a tiger. So, just like with the last cupcakes, we are making another face. So this time for the tiger, we're going to put orange icing down and then smooth it out. And then we'll go over how to put everything together. Ta-da! So I am going to go back to my vanilla wafers, and I'm only going to take out 1. And I'm going to put it towards the bottom. And then so we have a little less back and forth. We're gonna go ahead and do 2 white circles on here, but we wanna leave a little space in between them. And then we're going to put this back on the black icing, which you can go rinse it out, or you can just put it on here and squeeze for a little bit. Either way works. Alrighty, so it's ready to go, and I'm going to take 2 more candy eyes, and I'm going to come towards the top. This is really weird right now. And then I'm going to make a nose. And this time I try to make it a little bit heart-shaped. And then I draw a line down it. And I actually curve it. I will show it to you in a second. Like this. And then it is up to you what kind of eyebrows you want to do. I like to add eyebrows to this one. I usually like one like this and one like this. Like my tiger's like, what's you doing? But it is up to you what kind of vibes you want. You could do happy eyebrows. You could do eyebrows. Whatever feels right. And then for the ears for my tiger, I'm actually going to use a leaf tip today. So if you want, you could use the star tip on orange and do it just like we did our lion's ears. I'm going to use leaf tip, which is the only one we haven't used. It is the one that looks like an alligator mouth or a V, depending on how you're looking at it. Put it on my orange. And then this is going to be another one where it comes off the side. So we want to hold it like it is an alligator mouth, like it's going to throw up icing all over my cupcake. I'm going to go a little to the other side of my eyes, squeeze in the same spot. 1, 2, 3, stop and lift. 1, 2, 3, stop and lift. And then it is just adding however many stripes you want. So again, you can have those stripes go all the way across the face in different shapes and lines and whatnot, or you can just put them on the side. I like to put a couple on my ears. It's whatever stripes feel right for you. There's no right or wrong way to put your stripes on. And again, you could use the star tip instead of the leaf tip if that is more your style. And there we go, yes! Tigers! Alrighty, well it is time for our last cupcake, which is going to be a snake. So, I am going to put the grass tip on my yellow. You can either go rinse it out, that way you have as much icing as possible, and then put it on your yellow, or you can squeeze it out. It is totally up to you. I'm going to rinse mine out, and then I will be back and show you how to make some snakes. So, you can either do the little poofs, the floppy poofs, or spaghetti style, like we talked about with the mane. And again, this is the grass tip, the one with all the little holes in it. But we're just going to cover the top of the cupcake in whichever one of those styles you like. We're making some kind of like field grass for our snake to be in. At least that's what it makes me think of. I'm just going to do, I'm going to do a little mix. I'm going to have some taller than the other ones. It's totally up to you which one you want to do. Again, it is your cupcake. I want you to be happy with it. Ta-da! So, there has been one more thing in our bag of fun that we haven't opened up yet. It's the green fondant. So if you've never played with fondant before, fondant is basically like Play-Doh you can eat, and it tastes better than Play-Doh. It really does. But it's super fun to work with, in my opinion. So we are going to use this to shape our snakes. All of our green fondant is for our snakes today. So you'd have enough to make 2 snakes, and honestly, you're probably going to have a little bit more extra fondant than you need. rather you have a little bit too much more than not enough. So if you decide, I don't want my snake to be that big, you can rip it off. You don't have to use all of the green fondant if you don't want to, but if you want to use all of it, you totally can. So this way I remember that there are 2 snakes. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to cut this in half. Now if you opened it up and it came out in a chunk like this, or different chunks, it is okay. Just try and portion it to where it's pretty even, half and half. But if you left it in a square, you can either rip it like I just did, or you can take your scissors and cut it. And I'm going to set this other one down. And then it should be nice and soft, but I like to moosh it up with my hands first. Play with it with your hands. And then we are going to treat it just like it's Play-Doh, and we're going to make a tube snake. So, put it here, and then I'm going to roll a tube snake. And however long you make this is how many times you can wrap your snake around. It's totally up to you. And then you don't have to do what I'm doing. This is habit, but what I do is I start like this, and then I slowly open my fingers and bring them to the edges, and then just do that over and over. But you can just do this if you want. It's totally fine. This is just habit for me. I think this is good. So pick one end to be where your snake's head is going to be. So I pick this one, and I'm just going to pinch it a little. And then pick the other end, and I'm going to point it with my fingers. Alrighty. So then I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to just wrap it up. Like that. And then I'm going to stick it on my cupcake. I personally like to stick it in the middle, but you could stick it a little off center if you'd like. So now our snake just needs some eyes and tongue. So I'm going to take this black icing. Oh, if you want, I'm not going to do it today, but you could do an extra mile step. If you rinse off the grass tip, so this one that we put down, or actually no. So I'm not going to do it today, but there is an extra mile step. You could rinse out your star tip, and because it has these little spiky bits, because it's an open star, you can lightly stick it into your fondant. So I'm not going all the way through, but just enough to where I can feel that it's touched it, to make some scale impressions on your snake if you want. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it is a step that you could do if you want it to look a bit more realistic. I just recommend rinsing it out so you don't end up getting icing all over it, but it's just boop, 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 all over, and it'll create this really cool scale effect. But I'm just going to make some eyes, so I like to have them like this. And then this round tip is notorious for making these little points. If you don't want those little points, no worries. Just let your fondant, or not your fondant, let your cupcake and icing sit for about 2 minutes, and your icing will have stiffened up more from being in the air that you can lightly tap them. And when I say lightly, I mean, you can lightly tap them and they'll go away and be more rounded. But if you try and do it right now, your icing is still too fresh, and it's just going to keep repeatedly sticking to your finger and creating new points. So if you have little points like I do and you're like, I don't like those, just give it 2 minutes and you can lightly tap them away. And now for the tongue, I have the leaf tip on my orange, and I am going to just do like a 1 squeeze. So it's going to be alligator mouth, alligator mouth, and I'm going to squeeze for what? Now, it's been sitting out a little bit, so I'm going to take that part off. I'm going to come back. And there we go. Bah, bah. I feel like he's like, hi. And that is it, you guys. That is our zoo animal cupcakes. High five. And that is it, you guys. That is the Zoo Animal Cupcake Kit. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And I hope that you enjoy eating your awesome zoo animals. And speaking of your zoo animals, if you would like to share your pictures with us, you can go to our website, which is mymakestudio.com, and click on the Chef Chayla tab, and there'll be an option to upload your photos so we can see them, and then you'll become part of our Bakers Club, and you also get a certificate from me. So if you would like to share your lovely creations with us, you totally can. I personally always love seeing them. One of the coolest parts of this that I think is, in my world, cakes and cupcakes are just art that you can eat. And even though we're all we all have the same stuff, you guys always put your own personality and spin into them, and I just think that is amazing. Like, that is so cool. So if you would like to share your designs with us and become part of the Bakers Club and all that jazz, just go to mymakestudio.com and click on the Chef Chayla tab, and there'll be an option for you there. But also, if you're like, no, I want to show you my cupcakes, you don't have to. That's not a requirement of this. If you don't want to share your pictures, there is no pressure for you to do so. I'm just happy that you came. But if you would like to share them with us, you're always welcome to. I love seeing how creative you guys are with these. I think it is so awesome. And then if you do go to our website, we also have other cupcake kits. We have some other animal themed ones too. And we also have cake kits, round ones and square ones. So if you need more decoration in your life, that's a good place to check out. See what else we've got going on. And then if you would like to follow any of our social medias, they are all at MyMakeStudio. Our Facebook is at MyMakeStudio, and our Instagram is at MyMakeStudio. And those are good places to follow just to see like new and upcoming things that we've got going on and whatnot. And then we also have a TikTok, which is at MyMakeStudio, and that one is kind of like a little dive into my world. We got some cupcake decorating, we got some hair dye, we got some makeup going on, and my dog being weird. So if you would like to follow any of those, again, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are all at MyMakeStudio. But thank you so much for coming today, you guys. I'm sorry I'm running out of breath. I'm so excited that I'm like forgetting to breathe. But I really appreciate you coming. I really do hope you enjoy eating your cupcakes. And as always, stay creative.